Hello everyone, this is Nick Dads. The title of my article is A Comparison of Error Correction Procedures on Skill Acquisition During Discrete Trial Instruction. The authors were Carroll, Jocham, St. Peter, and Robinson. The purpose of this experiment was to extend previous research that has compared the efficiency and effectiveness of error correction procedures commonly used during discrete trial instruction. They targeted 4 different error correction procedures, including multiple response repetition, represent until independence, remove and represent, and single response. They targeted 3 different skill acquisition behaviors. There were 5 different participants. 3 of the participants targeted reading sight words. 1 of them targeted expressive identification of features, and the last one targeted expressive identification of functions. They did run an IOA throughout the study. Their range was 47% to 95%, but their overall average was 67%, which is a little lower than personally I would like. I know that the BACB and other different organizations ask for 80%, so theirs is a little low. In terms of treatment fidelity, they ran a baseline, they did an IOA, and their approach was a multiple alternating treatment across different therapists. So they actually did a combined graph approach. In terms of the results of the study, it showed that error correction procedures are an effective skill in target skill acquisition, and in other words, the conclusion also stated that there wasn't really that big of a difference. There was a little bit of a difference depending on the skill, but overall, between the 4 different interventions, there wasn't one that stood out as beyond effective than the other ones, and there also wasn't one that stood out as totally ineffective. So that's good. It means that all 4 of them are still effective, and you can interchange them depending on your specific client's skills. They did have a couple of limitations, including the error corrective procedures. They didn't use prompting or differential reinforcement for correct responses, which they did state in their conclusion that in the past when using different teaching skill acquisitions that was done during baseline for correct responses, they did either do some sort of prompt or some sort of differential reinforcement. There was no systematic eval of maintenance skills. There's a single comparison of error correction procedures for each participant. They didn't do that, and there was no difference there was a difference in instructor responses. So when the instructor would give for the different error correction procedures, they wouldn't necessarily do the wrong error correction, but they would do the error correction differently, so that might have skewed different responses. Thank you.